Ah, man, gotta love that beat. I really wanted to play that, well, that intro. Yes, because if you know that intro, then you already know what I have saw. What's going on, everybody? This is Ryan A. Polk with the wrap up and saw Sonic the Hedgehog. And this movie stars James Marsden and Tika Sumpter and also Jim Carrey. And like most fans, I was also mad with the way Sonic's appearance was when the trailer had first came out, because when I saw that Sonic, I felt like I was on shrooms when I was looking at him. Yes, that reminded me of a Sonic I would see if I just took some shrooms. And yeah, very very creepy looking. I'm happy that they had changed his appearance, because when I saw that, I was thinking like, okay, I mean, if this thing doesn't fail in the box office, it's going to get mad negative reviews just because of how the way Sonic looks. And thankfully, they did change his appearance to what it looks like now, because yes, it does look like Sonic. And Sonic is my favorite Sega Genesis character, so of course I had wanted to see this movie. And this movie, you got Sonic. He comes to this small town and he's helping out the local sheriff, played by James Marsden. and then yes, at the same time, you got Dr. Robotnik, who of course is trying to kill Sonic. And Dr. Robotnik, with Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik, I mean, I really gotta admit, he like stole almost half of the movie. I mean, yes, it's Sonic's movie, and I'm not trying to downplay my favorite Sega Genesis character, but yes, I'm happy that they had chose Jim Carrey for this role, because he was able to bring on that Dr. Robotnik personality. Funny, stupid, mad, crazy, evil, but yet you gotta love the guy. And I also like how not only with Sonic's appearance, how they had changed it, but also I did like in the movie how they was able to still bring upon his personality, his little comedic personality, especially when him and Eggman are going at it. And then he's also getting serious too at the same time. And Sonic the Hedgehog, the special effects were good in this movie. I mean, there were some special effects where I felt like, okay, yeah, this is way too much CGI. This looks really animated. It looked like it was one scene in particular that looked like something that was directed by Tim Burton almost. Well, actually, no, I ain't gonna say almost. It did look like it was directed by Tim Burton. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, because that's not what I do. But what I will say is that, like when it comes to, well, okay, I'm gonna wait till I get towards the end of this review to mention this. But yes, the acting was good in this movie, and it had a good storyline to it. There are some, like, some heartwarming and touching moments in this movie. And and while we was watching this movie, I just felt like that, okay, that like I was just wondering, like, okay, like do half of these kids in this movie even know who Sonic is? Because I'm not even sure if there's any other really Sonic TV shows, any new Sonic TV shows that come on right now. But I mean, like, I felt like aside from the kids I was watching the movie, when it came to the adults, especially for like because yes, it was for the adults, it was definitely it definitely had to be like millennials in there. And in this movie, it was apparently that, like, it was really good before I had went to go see it, because when we had went to go see it, it was sold out. So we had to wait to the next showing. And I was shocked. I was shocked that it was sold out, because I mean, I know some people who did see this movie, but there wasn't too many people I know who said that they did want to see it. But then at the same time, you know what? Us millennials, we grew up, man, playing Sonic. And I'm like, okay, yes, man, most of the audience I know probably was millennials who probably had saw this, who probably had sold out that theater. And it was, and for the adults, yes, it was probably, millennial adults in that movie that was, that was just, clapping and everything and getting real excited, because I know I was getting excited, and so were my friends. We were getting excited too when on some scenes where, especially when Sonic was doing his moves and stuff and everything, because because we're just thinking like, dude, man, okay, yeah, man. I mean, this is our time to be this is our time to be a kid again, because we're watching something that we have played growing up, on the big screen now. And yes, it was a very exciting movie, and the special effects were good, acting was good, and judging by how the way this thing had ended, a sequel definitely could be made. I hope that they do make a sequel, because I will definitely be there to see it. And the only thing I'll have to say that I didn't like about this movie was probably the length of the movie. I felt like the movie was kind of short a little bit. Like, I felt like more probably could have been added. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I really had enjoyed Sonic. The storyline to it was good, because it was pretty much like an origin for Sonic in a way. And well, not really, yeah, it was pretty much an origin for him. And I did like how, what they did for, on how he had got to the small town, and, and what it had. And I also, maybe also another thing that I did wish that I probably also wish that maybe it explained more of his origin a little bit too, as well, with Sonic. But I mean, it wasn't nothing boring about this movie at all. And Sonic the Hedgehog, if you're a fan of Sonic, then you will enjoy this movie. And, especially if you grew up playing Sonic 2 as well, you're definitely going to enjoy it. And I couldn't even think of any other comedian that could have played Dr. Robotnik besides Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey just did it so well with that movie. I mean, I don't know if the MTV Movie Awards still do the best villain award still, but like, for the next MTV Movie Awards, if they do the best villain award, Jim Carrey definitely should get nominated, because he was funny and he was good. And yes, I'm just so happy that they had chose Jim Carrey to play Dr. Robotnik. I felt like I was watching, old Jim Carrey again when seeing this. And also Sonic the Hedgehog, we also have, speaking of also for funny people, we have Natasha Rothwell, who was also in this movie. And she was, she played Tika Sumpter's sister in this movie. Tika Sumpter is also in this movie, who plays a vet. She is the wife of James Marsden in this movie. And Natasha Rothwell, even, even though I didn't even know that she was in this movie, and I wasn't expecting her to be in this movie, of course, she did good. She was funny. And I was happy that they also added her to it too as well, because that was just more laughter and just more humor. And Sonic the Hedgehog is definitely on the good list of movies for 2020. I'm just so happy that they had changed his appearance, because yes, I do think I am expecting the movie to do even more better now that they had changed his appearance. Well, I'm expecting the movie to do even just better than what it was expected to be. Because they would have not changed his appearance, then oh wow. I mean, I don't even think that it probably even did probably too well. But at the same time, though, I mean, maybe it could have. They probably just would have got got a lot of bad reviews. So, and this movie was yet another movie that was hard for me to critique as far as for its grade, and for giving it how many out of 5 stars. So, for Sonic's grade, I give Sonic the Hedgehog an A-. For, and out of 5 stars, I give Sonic the Hedgehog 3 out of 5 stars. Actually, you know what? I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. 3.5 out of 5 stars for Sonic the Hedgehog. And like I said, I don't spoil anything, as I've mentioned numerous times, but definitely stay for the mid-credit scenes, because you're definitely gonna get excited at the mid-credits. So, should you go see it, or should you wait for it to go to Redbox? I mean, I'm pretty much from what you have heard, you know, I'm telling you to just go see it. Yes, definitely go see Sonic the Hedgehog. Do not wait for it to go to the red box. It is not a waste of money. It is definitely a fun-filled adventure for the whole family and for us millennials as well. And then until then, this is Ryan A. Polk with the wrap up. Also, if you haven't liked, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit subscribe. And if you do like this video, hit like. Until then, this is Ryan A. Polk with the wrap up.